Okay, fine. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy and welcome to today's class, Unacademy's YouTube channel. Okay, so those who are in the class do reply me so that we can start off the session. Fine, everyone. Welcome to Unacademy's YouTube channel. Welcome to my class. My name is Lakshmi Kushwaha, a verified educator on Unacademy and content creator. So you can follow me for all the exam related to Code 55. Milkha Singh, good evening. Welcome to the class. You can follow me for all the courses related to Code 55. That is your industrial relations, labor welfare, human resource management, and so on. Ankita, good evening and welcome to the class. Meanwhile, quickly let people join and we would be starting the session. Okay, let others to join and we'll start. Ranveer, good evening and welcome to the class. Fine. So if you're planning to take the subscription on Unacademy's iconic or plus platform, you can just use the code Lakshmi K Live to get 10% off on your subscription. About me, I'm net qualified in industrial relations and labor welfare, holding 4.5 years of professional experience and 3 years of teaching. You can follow me for all the courses. This is the course which is a complete course on labor law, Code 55, that is your industrial relation, which has been started on 9th of February. This is a batch course where I am taking your unit number 1 to 10. So all the units of Code 55, and Priyanka ma'am and Ashwini sir, they both are taking paper 1. So your paper 2 and paper 1 both are going to get completed in this batch. All you have to do is just to enroll to the batch course, use the code Lakshmi K Live and they get 10% off. Karthik, good evening and welcome to the class. Very good evening. Fine. So this is the session or this is the classes which you can follow me for the courses. Now, in last session, we started the analysis, right? Analysis of the exam which happened in January on January 4th. So there were two papers for Code 55 happened due to the some natural calamities and cyclone and all. The exam for the sum of the location was postponed, because of which there was two paper which has happened, right? So yeah, in the last session also we did the same thing. We understood the strategy. I told you the books and all. Now in the class, if anyone wants to again, they want any things to be cleared up, you have any doubt, you can ask me, or else we would be starting the further question discussion. So these were the few questions we discussed early. So I would be directly moving to those questions which we have not discussed. Okay. Okay. So few questions were there only that we discussed. This was the question we discussed in last session up till here, that consider the following statement under the Minimum Wages Act 1948 and identify the combination of false statement. In today's session, before we move to the class, हम question solve करें उसके पहले I would like to tell you the important thing that you need to focus while you are studying for Code 55. Important topics or important way or the strategy, or rather what are the important you can say the topic or subtopics under the Code 55 or the course of the Code 55 that you cannot skip. So if I talk about first unit, very important, and trust me, with every exam they are only increasing the syllabus. They are just increasing the scope of the syllabus. I mean to say, they are not adding the new points, but within syllabus only they are adding subtopics, because of which your syllabus is going on increasing day by day. But yes, they are part of your syllabus only. So the important topics from which every time the question has to be asked, unit number 1. Almas, good evening and welcome to the class. So the topics which they always ask in the exam from first unit is your management thoughts, like author, especially this scientific management, your Hawthorne experiment, your Henry Fayol. This all you don't have to miss. You cannot miss them. Once you can sometime skip, you cannot skip also, but you can just give lesser importance to functions of management. But yes, this schools of thoughts of management is really very important. Similarly, for unit number 2, there are number of the topics like training and development, motivation, sorry, not motivation, training and development, all this is something which you cannot skip. Compensation you cannot skip, training and development you cannot skip. Under training and development is the favorite topic every time. Off job training, on job training, every time the question is asked in the exam. Third unit is your human resource development. In this, okay, also in unit number 2, human resource management models. Models of human resource management, 100% one question is asked. So you cannot skip the models of human resource management. Under human resource development, we have HR accounting and HR audit. And your international, polycentric, ethnocentric, different type of the countries, different type of the approaches of compensation and so on. That is what you cannot skip. Okay. How I have analyzed all this? By analyzing the questions from last 12 years. These questions or these topics from which the questions are asked 100%. Right? OB. From organizational behavior, that is your unit number 4. From this, you cannot skip motivation. You cannot skip your group theories or group wala concept. Right? And motivation, every theory. 100% the question is asked. Leadership. This is for sure is asked. Then from personality, there is the question, personality test and so on. Can you please take the classes with cover all the topics, even the rarest one, not mentioned in the syllabus, but still asked as nahi. हाँ, as in कुछ नहीं छोड़ना है. We can, yes, I will be taking Almas that kind of a session जो syllabus में mention नहीं है. Subtopics you want me to explain, actually you want to take me a detailed class on detailed topic. It means OB में ऐसे कौन से topics हैं जो roughly जो हमारे syllabus में दिया है, लेकिन उसके अंदर कुछ सब टॉपिक्स ऐसे होते हैं जो मिस नहीं किए जा सकते और उसमें से आते हैं. जैसे कॉन्टेम्पररी, जैसे लर्निंग में से लर्निंग थ्योरीज तो हमेशा आती ही हैं. सो फ्यू थिंग्स लाइक सब टॉपिक्स विच आर नॉट मेंशन्ड, बट हम उसे छोड़ नहीं सकते. We'll take the session on that as well, Almas. ठीक है. So OB I explained you, learning, leadership, your motivation and group. You cannot skip them. Unit number 5, industrial relation. Here, industrial dispute act you cannot skip. What are different kind of industrial dispute? Trade union you cannot skip, right? Industrial dispute act is next one. So under the industrial relation, you cannot skip the models of IR. Right? You cannot skip approaches of IR. That is 100% sure the question is there from the approaches of IR. Okay. Next comes your unit number 6. That is your industrial dispute. Here the Trade Union and Industrial Dispute Act you cannot skip. 100% question is asked from this. And also what are the different measures of settlement and prevention methods like work committee and so on. Conciliation. And sections are asked from Industrial Dispute Act. So anything which you cannot skip, nothing can be skipped from the Industrial Dispute Act. Even important sections you need to remember, because there has been the question in both the papers asked this time regarding the section. Clear? So this is what you cannot skip from the unit number 6. Then comes your unit number 7, that is the labor legislation. So theories of labor, under labor legislation, ILO, International Labour Organization, Indian Constitution के articles, right? This is what you cannot skip. I would write here, just a second. Fine. So that was your unit number 7. Here ILO you cannot skip. Indian Constitution's article cannot be skipped. In laws, Factories Act may you cannot skip Factories Act also. Then comes also building and construction. There are the question. Committees under all the laws, you should be aware of the committees. This time the match the following was asked in the exam, right? Then comes your unit number 8, that is your wages. Wage theories you cannot skip, very, very important. Then Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act, Bonus Act, and your final one, Equal Remuneration Act, again important. Okay, laws you cannot skip. The 2020 question paper and 2020 the laws were asked only from the social security part, but this time it was mixed. So you are having an uncertain, you cannot actually find out that which question would be asked in exam or not. Then comes your unit number 9th, that is your labor welfare, very important. Approaches of labor welfare, theories of labor welfare, social assistance and social security is 110% the question is asked from this topic. Approaches, theories, social assistance and social security. Unit number 10th, types of the unemployment. Then comes your market, types of the market. This is labor market, labor supply curve. What are the different market curves? This is what you cannot skip. Clear? So I have given you the ideas which, or given you the some idea that the topics which you should do 100%. Right? Now, let's, any doubt other than this, if you have any doubt other than this, you can ask me. Yes. Do you have any doubts other than this? You can ask me. Otherwise, we would move to the questions. Okay, done. Let's start the session. So, in yesterday's, or sorry, before the earlier session, we did only few questions. Today, we would be doing more questions. So, the first question is, I hope the questions are visible. Which of the following statements are correct so far as the provisions of Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952? Ashraf, good evening. Welcome to the class. So now, what is this Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952? This question is particularly your PYQ. This is your PYQ. मतलब ये already पूछा गया है. This was already asked. The only thing is only one option here is changed. Otherwise, everything is same. Anyone who has done my sessions or have practiced the PYQs, they can easily find out this question is PYQ earlier asked, only one option is changed. So the question is asking you which of the following options are correct. It makes a provision for pension scheme including the family pension. It makes a provision for employees deposit link insurance scheme. The provision of employees provident fund are not applicable to the cooperative societies employing less than 40 persons with working with the aid of power. There is no wage ceiling under the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952. Choose the correct answer. Try to answer this question. You have to answer which of these options are correct. So, what is the Employees Provident? Meanwhile, you are answering in the comment section. I would explain you a few concepts. What is the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1942? So, 1952 is Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act came into the existence with the concept of providing the social security. First of all, the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act is an social security law. What it is? Social security law. Why? It is providing a security to the employees after their retirement, after they are at the stage when they are not working. Right? It provides the Provident Fund. Now, under the Provident Fund, there are three more schemes: Provident Fund scheme, pension scheme and insurance scheme. So these three schemes are given under the Employee Provident Fund. Milka has answered the option number A and B. No, this is not correct. You have to answer which of these options are correct. So no one has answered other than Milka. All are new or what? Try to answer. If you don't know, I will answer the question then. Or else I'm not getting the answers from your side. Okay, done. I will explain you. See, Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act में family pension scheme है? Yes, है. It makes a provision for employees deposit link insurance scheme? Yes, है. ठीक है. There is no wage ceiling? नहीं. Wage ceiling है. It is of 15,000. ठीक है. Wage ceiling है. So, इसमें से ये ऑप्शन गलत है. अच्छा, आपने सही मार्क किया था, सॉरी, ये ऑप्शन गलत है. और ये द प्रोविजन ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज प्रोविडेंट फंड एक्ट आर नॉट एप्लीकेबल टू द कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी. लेस देन 40 नहीं है, इट इज लेस देन 50. Right, you marked answer correctly. So the answer is option number 1. I'm so sorry, Milka. Your answer was correct. It is A and B are only correct because here it is 50. Employees Provident Fund Act is not applicable to the cooperative societies having less than 50 persons. And there is a wage ceiling. So that is 15,000. Right? So only option A and B are correct. C and D are not correct. Clear नहीं दिख रहा है? ठीक है, एक बार आप वीडियो क्वालिटी बढ़ाओ थोड़ा सा ना. एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन पेपर से दे वेर नॉट एबल, आई वॉज नॉट एबल टू कॉपी पेस्ट द क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली, तो दैट्स वाई स्क्रीनशॉट्स लेने पड़े. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Others also do try if you are there in class and listening to me. The increase in unemployment that occurs during recession and depression is called. Try to answer this question. Meanwhile, I am explaining you few things. Unemployment. What do you mean by unemployment? When any employee, when any worker is not able to find the job, on the current wages available in the labor market, then that person is called as an unemployed. Now, this unemployment occurs because of number of the things, and the unemployment can be different types. Like we have frictional unemployment, structural unemployment, cyclical unemployment, and seasonal unemployment, and there are many more. Open unemployment, hidden unemployment, many more, seasonal unemployment, and so on. The question is asking you, when does unemployment which occurs during recession and depression is called as? Yes, the answer is option number C, cyclical unemployment. Why cyclical unemployment? Cyclical unemployment means every business, every establishment has a business cycle. Now this cycle always faces ups, or this business always faces ups and downs in the life, in its life. So sometime it is recession, sometime it is depression, sometime it is boom, and so on, right? So during the period of recession and depression, this occurs in cyclical. A cycle is going on. So during this time when people get unemployed, it is called as cyclical unemployment. What do you mean by frictional unemployment? When suppose I am at one job, I am doing a job in company A, another company is B. So I left the job and I am looking for switching for the job. So while I am switching the job, the small gap between my two companies is the the small time period for which I am unemployed, that is the frictional unemployment. So I am changing from one organization to another organization. The small unemployment between these two jobs is called as frictional unemployment. Also, one more thing, after completing my degree, after completing my studies, before I get my first job, the time period between this is also called as the frictional unemployment. What do you mean by structural unemployment? Every organization has got certain technology, certain system working. It has got its own structure. Whenever there is the change in the structure, now there can be a technological unemployment which is due to the increase or improvement in technology. This technological unemployment may lead to the structural employment. When new technology is introduced, there may be the reason, or there may be the chances that you change the structure of the organization. You may hire new people, you may remove the old people. So complete structure is changing. So such kind of people, those who are losing the job during this structural change, it is called as structural unemployment. Seasonal unemployment, like during the winters only the woolen clothes are available, during the summer season only ice is available or ice cream is available, rest of the time period they are unemployed. So this kind of unemployment is called as the seasonal unemployment, right? This all are different types of unemployment. There are many more types of unemployment. For that you need to check my special classes. Okay, so the answer for this is cyclical unemployment. Next important question, under which section of the Industrial Dispute Act 1947 a retrenched workman can be given an opportunity for re-employment? So see here section is asked. So which section talks about that retrenched workman? Now what do you mean by retrenchment? So the section number 2, section number 200, retrenchment, it defines the retrenchment. It says that the when the person the आप मुझे okay, what do you mean by retrenchment? या retrenchment का मतलब क्या होता है? retrenched worker का मतलब क्या होता है? retrenchment का मतलब होता है जब कोई employee अपनी when a job person or the end of the or termination of the employment of the employee because of reasons other than VRS, other than long ill health, other than मतलब वो सारे रीजंस जो इस पर्टिकुलर सेक्शन में दिए हैं, क्या क्या दिए हैं? लॉन्ग इल हेल्थ, बहुत टाइम से बीमार चल रहे हो, अगर इसकी वजह से आपकी जॉब गई है, हम उसे रिट्रेंचमेंट नहीं कहेंगे. इफ यू हैव टेकन द वीआरएस, दिस इज नॉट द रिट्रेंचमेंट. इफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हैज एंडेड, दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट रिट्रेंचमेंट. इफ द नॉन रिन्यूअल, मतलब आपका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट रिन्यू नहीं किया गया है, दिस इज ऑल्सो नॉट रिट्रेंचमेंट. Okay, so but it is also not include dismiss and discharge. It is not also dismiss and discharge, so it does not include anything. So people need Hindi, so I would mix up, I would explain Hindi and English both. So when I lose my job, when someone get unemployed, or someone's job is terminated for the reasons other than all this, it is called as retrenchment. Now retrenchment happens when, under the Industrial Dispute Act, we have the term called layoff. Section number 2L defines the layoff. Layoff means an incapacity, inability of an employer to hire any number of the worker is called as layoff. For example, during COVID, there was the business was down, the production was less, because of which the employer was not able to hire the people. Business down tha, wo hire nahi kar paya logo ko, so now they started laying off. Layoff can be done. So this was because of incapabilities of the employer. Layoff can be done for the maximum period of 45 days. Then what about after 45 days? It can be only 45 days. No employer can lay off the employee more than 45 days. And he is supposed to get the compensation for the layoff, that is equal to 50% of the wages. What about this 45 days? After this 45 days, he get retrenched. So he is losing his job other than all this reason, that is called as the retrenchment. And a person, when he is getting retrenched, he is getting the compensation, which is the 15% of his wages multiplied by the number of the years he has completed. So that is layoff and retrenchment. This question is asking you, under which section Industrial Dispute Act 1947 retrenched workmen are given an opportunity of re-employment. So there is an provision under the Industrial Dispute Act, when you retrench any of your employee, if you have, suppose he was working as an HR executive, you retrenched that person. After 4 years, 2 years, again this same position is opened. So you should give an opportunity to that retrenched employee to re-employ. उसको पहले बताओगे आप कि हाँ हमारे पास में सेम पोजीशन के लिए ओपनिंग है, अगर आप एम्प्लॉयबल हो आप रीजॉइन कर सकते हो. So this is given in which section? Try to answer this. If you don't remember these sections कैसे याद करने हैं, attend my sessions, I will help you out. So the answer for this is option number, section number 25H. So it is given in 25H that every retrenched workman who is retrenched earlier, and if the opportunity arises again, he should be given an opportunity for the re-employment. उसको दोबारा opportunity मिलनी चाहिए. If you all have understood, or if you are understanding whatever I am teaching it, please reply me in the comment section or give me the thumbs up if you are understanding the things. Let's move to the next question. This question is asked from the building and other construction workers. Consider the following statement in connection with the constitution of the state welfare boards under the provision of the Building and Other Construction Workers Regulation of Employment and Condition Services Act 1996. So these are the options. You have to answer them, that which of the options are correct. You have to answer which is the correct. The State Building and Other Construction Workers Welfare Board shall be a body corporate having perpetual succession. A board shall consist of a chairman to be nominated by state government. Not exceeding 15 members can be appointed by the state government as the member of the board. The board shall include an equal number of members representing state government, the employers and building workers. At least one woman has to be a, sorry, one member has to be a woman. So you have to answer which of this following option is correct. Chalo, quickly try to answer. Anyone? So meanwhile, yes, Almas, yes. The answer is option number C. ठीक है? Now, under the building and construction, other construction workers. Now, what is building and other construction worker? Now, this is an preventive, or you can call as an protective. So, labor legislations. In India, we have the labor legislation, which can be divided into four categories: preventive or protective legislation, your industrial or regulative labor legislation, social labor legislation, and your social security, and your final welfare labor legislation. This building and other construction is your protective or preventive labor legislation. Under building and other construction workers, it regulates the conditions of employment for the workers who are working at the building and construction site. And under this law, under this legislation, there is a welfare board which provides the welfare fund to the beneficiaries who are registered as a beneficiary under the building and construction worker. Benefit मिलता है उन workers को. So the state welfare board help that welfare fund to work. Now this state welfare board is made, or this is appointed by the central government, and state and building has shall be a body having the perpetual succession. Perpetual succession का मतलब होता है continuous existence. Yes, this is correct. The board shall be consist of a chairman to be nominated by the state government. It's not state government, it's central government. Not exceeding 15 members. Yes, there can be maximum 15 members. Board shall include equal number of representing state employers and building worker. Yes. At least women. Yes. So these all are correct. Only B option is not correct, right? So the option number 3 is correct. Aditi, okay? Only B is not correct. Next question. According to the book Third Wave, which one of the following is related to third wave? So there is a book called Third Wave: agricultural revolution that transformed the human history, the industrial revolution that transformed the society, the technological and the social change that transferred the organization, societies and economies, the environmental change that transferred the entire business and the world market. Now, this is something which is related to your labor market. I will be teaching you this in detail. What is third wave and all in detail in our classes. I have not found out till now the concern, or rather you can say this is the question which is asked for the first time. See, this concept or this topic is asked for the first time. NTA net or your net exam would always have some questions which are being asked for the first time. कुछ ऐसे question जो सभी लोग attempt नहीं कर पाएंगे, which you cannot. They would have such questions, right? So you don't have to worry because these questions would be asked in the exam. So yes, the third wave is said to be a wave which the technology and the social change that transferred organizations, societies and economies. So third, yes, it is the option number C. It has transferred everything. The third wave is related to revolution, or you can say the change which was brought in the labor market, human history, or rather you can say in different sections of the societies and economies. So it changed everything. Fine. So we'll give a detailed discussion in our plus classes. Next question. Important. Yes. Now, this question is asked from the Employers Association. Employers Association. Okay. Now we have trade unions. That is called as the association, or you can say the association of the employees, or the group of the employees coming together. Next, हाँ ऐसे question में educated guess लगा सकते हैं, हाँ almost right. Then this is employers organization. Just like trade unions, we have the employers organization or association. This question is asked from this particular topic, employers association. In which year the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, was formed? Which year? 1881, 1905, 1927, 1931. If you want to attend the class, or you want to know how many employer association are there, you can just search in the YouTube of Unacademy by my name. I have already taken the class on employers association. Yes. The answer for this is option number 3. It was in 1927. The work of Federation of Indian Chambers of the Commerce. So this was the one initially where the Indian industries Indian industries or establishment owners or the employers came together and they formed the federation. The purpose, or initially the purpose that is it started looking forward, was to represent the Indian employers at the tripartite organization like ILO's ILC, Indian International Labour Conference. So FICCI was initially representing it, but ILO later on neglected that this is a federation, this is not the employers association, or this is not the employers representative. So on the request of FICCI, later on IOE was formed in 1931, which then started representing. Okay, now let's move to the next. Okay, now see the section. Two questions were asked in this exam regarding the section. Which section of Factories Act 1948 requires the manager of every factory to maintain the register of the adult workers? Section 60, Section 62, Section 64, Section 73. You have to answer which section is requiring the manager to maintain the factory. So every manager of the factory is supposed to maintain the register of the adult worker, mentioning his name, address, what is the working hours, what is the interval, how many days he has worked, when he would be on leave, and so on. Everything has to be there. So you have to answer this section, right? It would be, I don't know how many of you would be able to answer, but the answer for this is section number 62. Section number 60 is prohibition of the unemployment. Okay, so that is your question number, that is the section number 62. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, ये सेक्शन वाले क्वेश्चंस ही जेआरएफ को, यस करेक्ट, ये वाले क्वेश्चंस ही जेआरएफ को अलग करते हैं. सो नाउ इफ यू वांट टू मास्टर सच क्वेश्चंस, इफ यू वांट टू लर्न कि सेक्शंस कैसे याद रखने हैं, तो आपको मेरे क्लासेस में आना पड़ेगा. आई विल हेल्प यू, गिव यू द इजीएस्ट ट्रिक दैट हाउ यू कैन रिमेंबर द कंप्लीट लेजिस्लेशन विद दी सेक्शंस. Those who are already attending my classes or मेरी classes already attend कर चुके हैं, and if they are already seeing my recorded session on Unacademy's Plus platform, they can easily differentiate कि कैसे आप sections को याद रखेंगे कितने easy way में. It's only matter of one or two question, and as rightly said by Almas, that this one or two question only differentiate the JRF people. राइट बाकी तो सभी कर लेते हैं, बट दिस सच क्वेश्चंस ओनली मेक यू गिव यू द एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट. सभी लोग सेक्शंस छोड़ देते हैं. इट इज बिलीव कि दो या एक ही क्वेश्चन आता है. यस, एक या दो ही क्वेश्चन आता है, बट इस एक या दो के लिए अगर आप एक थोड़ा सा एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट डालते हो, यू वुड गेट एन एक्स्ट्रा मार्क that would differentiate you, right? For that you can just attend my classes. Okay, next question. Which one of the following is not related to the off-job training? So you have to tell me which of the following is not an off-job training. Multiple management, management games, sensitivity training, special projects. So if I talk about the technique of the trainings, the techniques of the trainings can be divided into two types: on the job training and off the job training. So now on the job training, the simple way of understanding the on the job training is when you are at your workplace, when you are near your machine, when you are at near your computer, when you are within the premises of your organization, it is on the job. Off the job training, when you are away from your premises, when you are away from, or you are at the situation, or you are at the place where your machines or your working place are not present. So that is your off the job training. Here you have to tell that off the job training kaun sa hai. Yes, Aditi has answered question number 4, option number 4. Yes, special project is not an off the job, it is the on the job training. अब ये on the job training कैसे? Because special projects are given to the people, those who are working, and a special, जैसे I am an HR executive, or for few days my reporting manager said that you have a special project in which you have to work with the admin. So while I am being on duty, while I am being in office, then only I can handle this special, you can say special projects. Best ma'am, any chance in unreserved category 174? I can say that there can be a chances of net, but GRF is difficult, because this time the highest points are very high. or highest marks are very high. So I believe a little bit difficult, but anyways, do wait for the final result. Fine. So this is the project. Special project is your only net. Yes, net is there. Chances are there for your net. Okay. So the special projects, this all are your off the job. Multiple management. Multiple management is a you can say a process or a way where you are taught a kind of a training where you are given multiple things at the same point of the time. Management games, games where you learn to make the decisions and so on, right? Leadership, decision making in management games, games खिलाते हैं आपको. Sensitivity training is your where you try to understand the behavior. It is a kind of an informal meeting without any agenda. The people from the different culture, the people from the different background, they come into the group of the 10 to 12, and without any agenda they start interacting with each other. So it is a process where each of the employee try to understand the other one, right? That is your sensitivity training. Special project I explained you completely. Now next is the finance for the social assistance is generally provided out of the general revenues of. So what is the social assistance, and it is given from where? Employer, political parties, government, all of the above. What do you mean by social assistance? Meanwhile you are answering the question, let me explain you this. So we have social security. This is the part of the social security. Question is asked from the unit number 9. Now, the social security are of two types, social assistance and your social insurance. So, two types of social security you have, social assistance and social insurance. Social assistance is or are the program or the schemes where complete you can say facilities or complete benefits are given by the government. So there is no contribution from employee or the employer. So complete assistance is given by the government or complete benefit is given by the government. So there is no employer, there is no political party. It is only from the government that the benefits are given. But yes, before giving the social assistance benefit, there is a test called means test. Means test is a test where it checks the eligibility like BPL, below poverty line, and so on. After doing this means test, the social assistance is provided. We can have the legislations like Maternity Benefit Act and Employees Compensation Act. These two legislation are under the social assistance, right? Where in Maternity Benefit Act, you don't have to give any. As a woman, when I'm working with any establishment, I am supposed to get the maternity benefit without any contribution. So that is the social assistance. Employees compensation. If I am working in any of the organization or establishment, if I met with an accident while working in course of my job or out of course, out of the employment, both the cases, I am supposed to get the compensation. If I acquire any kind of disease, I am supposed to get the compensation. If there is death of any employee because of he was working at the establishment, he is supposed to get the compensation. For all this compensation, no employee have to make any contribution. Everything is given by the government. Whereas the social insurance is a scheme, एक ऐसी scheme या ऐसे facilities हैं where the contribution has to be made from employer and employee both side. It can be funded by partially by government, partially by institutes and so on. But yes, here the employer and employee contribution are to be made and they get the benefits according to their contribution. In both the cases, they receive the benefits as in right, as their right. But here it is complete, here also they have right, but they have to make the contribution. Here example are provident fund, are gratuity, are ESIC, ठीक है, employee insurance. This all are your social insurance, right? So you need to able to differentiate what is social assistance, what is social insurance. In our article, Indian Constitution article also, we have an article that is talking about the public assistance. So our Indian Constitution also talk about giving a free assistance to the citizens of India. Fine. So the answer for this is option number 3, government. Next question. What items are typically included in the job description? So what do you mean by job description and what are the items included in it? It is a written statement about the wage and the salary administration. It is an oral instruction about the standing order of the organization. It is a written statement of what the worker actually does. It is an oral instruction about the job to be performed. Try to answer this question. Yes, quickly. I hope I'm not too fast. You are able to understand what I'm teaching, what I am saying. Aditi has marked as 4, Ranveer has marked as 3, Ruhi has marked as 3. Yes, the answer is option number 3. Now, what is job description? See, this is the part of the job analysis. Now, when we do the job analysis means understanding particular job, that what is job all about and what all qualifications or the requirements are required to do this job. Now, when anyone, SJ, good evening, welcome to the class. Now, this job analysis, when the job analysis is done, when you do the job analysis, it can be broken down into the two parts, your job specification and your job description. Now, what do you mean by job description? It is a written statement of what the worker do. So ये description है, means what is job all about. It is describing the job. And job specification, so specification required. So this is who will be doing the job and what is the job. This is how you can remember. This is what is experience, sorry, yes, what is the experience, qualification, you can say ability, skills and required, specification required. Here, in what duties, what would be there, what would be the working condition and so on. That is in the JD. So what is the job all about? That is your job description. And specification is about the person who would be doing, who, what kind of people we require. That is your qualification, right? Next question. Interesting question. Which among the following is not a component of accident? This question is asked from unit number 9. Industrial health and accident, so on. Which among the following is not a component of the accident? Unplanned event, loss of human life or personal injury, damage to property, warranted event. Very easy. Again, if you have not even studied, still you can answer this question. Yes. Almas has answered D. Okay, correct. Anyone else? 4. Yes, correct. So the answer for this is wanted event. This is not the part of the accident. See, what is accident? Any unwanted or unplanned event which happens and causes the effect or causes or affects the work, or it causes the injuries or damage to the human life, that is the accident. So yes, it is an unplanned event. Yes, it causes the loss of life or personal injury, and of course it causes the damage to the property. But wanted event, wanted means can anyone guarantee, can anyone guarantee something or give the warranty of something that yes, this will be there in the accident, or in this day the accident would happen? No, it is not the wanted event. It is an unplanned event which happens because of mistakes or because of untrained employees or because of you can say negligence, basically negligence. You are not focusing, or you have not given importance to the safety. So if it is there, you have neglected the thing, the accident happens. So it's not the wanted event. Fine. Next question. So see, this is from again unit number 9, labor welfare. Which among the following are the theories of labor welfare? Theory of adequacy of wages, philanthropic theory, trusteeship theory, theory of efficiency, theory of responsibility. Theory of labor welfare. Chalo, quickly. You have to answer which are. Hmm. Okay. Philanthropic theory, Almas has answered C. Okay, Aditi has answered 3, B and C. You're saying B and C. Okay. What are others? What is this theory of adequacy of wages? This is the theory or approaches of wages. Philanthropic theory and your trusteeship theory. This is your labor welfare theory. Theory of efficiency, theory of responsibility. The answer for this is option number B and C. So these two are B and C. B and C are your theories of labor welfare. This, this. Why the theory of efficiency भी तो है. हम theory of functionality कौन सा है वो, जिसको हम थियोरी ऑफ एफिशिएंसी भी बोलते हैं लेबर वेलफेयर में. व्हाट इज द अनदर नेम? थियोरी ऑफ फंक्शनैलिटी, थियोरी ऑफ क्या है वो, व्हाट इज द नेम, अनदर नेम जो लेबर वेलफेयर में है जिसे हम थियोरी ऑफ एफिशिएंसी भी बोलते हैं, बट इट्स मेन नेम इज डिफरेंट. यस, नो वन नोज. Okay, fine. So, see, it is the functional theory. It is the functional theory of labor welfare. Yes, functional theory of labor welfare, which is also called as efficiency theory. So, real name of that theory is functional theory. It's not the efficiency. Another name is efficiency, but इसमें हमको actually जो नाम होते हैं उनके हिसाब से आंसर करना है. So, only the B and C is the correct answer. Fine. So advocacy, this is the wages. Philanthropic theory is love for the mankind. Trusteeship theory, there should be a trust between the employee and employee or the paternalistic theory. ठीक है. Advocacy of wages. So theory of wages says that it's not only this theory of wages says that the wages should be provided. It's not enough to give the adequate wages, but there should be some extra wages or extra welfare should be given to the employees, right? बी सी डी होता, हाँ, तो फिर हम उसको मार्क कर सकते थे, तो हम अलमास उसको मार्क कर सकते थे. ठीक है, तो फिर वो, तो आप इसको चैलेंज भी कर सकते थे, अगर वो आंसर आपको करेक्ट नहीं देते तो आप उसे चैलेंज भी कर सकते थे. ठीक है, बट यहाँ पे दो दो का कंसेप्ट है, तो हाँ, इसको हम डायरेक्टली डिफ्रेंशिएट कर सकते हैं. मुझे लगता है कुछ लोगों ने इसे चैलेंज भी किया है, बट चैलेंज करने का आई डोंट थिंक सो इसको कोई यूज है इसका. ठीक है, लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Okay, so this question is from the organizational behavior. Topic is motivation. Match. Very easy. This is n number of the time. Authors and the contribution given. Expectancy theory, ERG theory, equity theory, attribution theory. You have to match the authors. Very simple. Even if you know one, you would be able to do it. कोई option इसमें mix up करके नहीं दिए हैं. Very direct. अगर आपको एक भी पता है तो आप आंसर कर पाओगे. चलो. Yes, Almas has answered as B. Correct. So the answer for this is option number A. Expectancy theory, that is the Vroom's theory. ERG theory is your Eldefer. Equity theory is your Sketty and Adams. And your attribution theory, Alhort and Kelly. This attribution theory is really very important. This question is asked. Attribution theory is very important. Every time the question has been asked from attribution. So इसमें इस बार author पूछ लिया. Okay, next question. Do I need to explain this? Anyone who needs the explanation for this? I hope this is understandable. Now, next important question, assertion and reason. This time assertion and reason were very easy. Assertion. Disguised unemployment is present in Indian agricultural sector in India. Bhavna, good evening. Welcome to the class. Vibhanshi. Okay, Vibhanshi, good evening. Welcome to the class. Nice to see you. Fine. So, assertion and reason are there. Disguised unemployment is present in Indian agriculture sector in India. Normally, marginal productivity of agriculture is high. How many of you want me to explain this and this? मुझे, who is this? So please you leave, it's better. Hmm. भावना, of course I remember you. ऑफ कोर्स आप काफी, आप कॉलेज में पढ़ाते हैं, मैं आपको जानती हूँ भावना. यू वेयर इन माय अर्लियर क्लासेस. Take the class on assertion and reason, how to solve it. Okay, Almas will do it in the special class. Very, very easy to solve assertion and reason. Marginal productivity, I will explain you. Yes, Bhavna, have I guessed it correct? You teach in college, right? You are an lecturer in college. Yes, you teach labor law, human resource management. Am I correct? Fine, let me explain you this. What do you mean by disguised unemployment? Okay, so when I say disguised unemployment, हाँ, disguised unemployment क्या होता है? Like in India, एक ही agricultural land पे there are number of the people working. There are number of the people working. Or rather, let me explain you that in construction site, you must have seen the people working, number of people working at that construction site who are not required at all. For example, if one employee is working or one worker is working on this construction site, he brings his brother or his friend and asks the employer, सर इसको इसके पास में काम नहीं है, आप इसको थोड़ा बहुत दे देना, काम पे रख लो. एम्प्लॉयर ने कहा चलो कर लो काम. और ये फिर ये भी अपने एक फ्रेंड को लेकर आए. सो एम्प्लॉयर सेड के इन्होंने कहा सर इसको भी थोड़ा सा काम पे रख लो, तो एम्प्लॉयर ने कहा हम थोड़ा बहुत दे देंगे. सो दीज टू पीपल, or this all people are working at the construction site where they all are not required, not at all required. So means that their marginal productivity is zero. They are adding, why their productivity is zero? Because even if I remove them, even if the employer remove these two people, the production would get hampered because the requirement here is of only one person. एक ही person की requirement है वहां पे. ठीक है, अब क्या होता है नॉर्मल. सबसे पहले व्हाट इज मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी? डिस्गाइज्ड एम्प्लॉयमेंट, आई होप इट इज क्लियर. वेयर मोर देन, वेयर एट वन जॉब व्हेन देयर आर मोर देन पीपल रिक्वायर्ड वर्किंग, एक जगह पे ज्यादा लोग काम करते हैं. सो दैट इज द डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. ठीक है, जैसे हमारे एग्रीकल्चर, इंडिया में एग्रीकल्चरल लैंड पे एक से ज्यादा लोग या उतने लोगों की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं होती है. सो Vibhanshi, your favorite student. Vibhanshi, I gave you, na? I told your name. I'm not able to recall more than this. Vibhanshi. How would I remember so many students, my favorite students? You have said, I have said. Yeah, I remember. I told you that you are. Now I'm not. So please give your identification. This is how I'm not able to. I'm good, very, very bad. Right? Okay. So now disguised unemployment. Then we have, that is एक जगह पे जहां जरूरत नहीं है बट बहुत सारे लोग वहां पे काम करते हैं, उसे हम कहते हैं डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट. देन कम्स, लेट्स मेक अंडरस्टैंड नॉर्मल मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी का मतलब क्या है. सपोज वन एम्प्लॉय इज वर्किंग, देर इज एन एम्प्लॉय एंड ही इज वर्किंग फॉर 8 आवर्स. ठीक है, 8 आवर्स, 8 घंटे के लिए काम कर रहा है. मैं बताऊंगी ट्रू है क्या, ये कैसे पता चलेगा, आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू. अलमास, मैं अभी एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ. तो ये 8 घंटे के लिए काम कर रहा है एक पर्सन. ठीक है, तो 8 घंटे के लिए काम करने के बाद में ये मुझे देते हैं 10 प्रोडक्ट. ही वर्क फॉर 8 आवर्स एंड ही गिव्स मी एक्स्ट्रा 8 आवर्स एंड गिव मी 10 प्रोडक्ट. सेम एम्प्लॉय, I am making him to work for 9 hours. How many? 9 hours, 1 hour extra. Now he is giving me 11 product. Then next time, same employee, I gave him different quality or different unit of raw material. So he is giving me again 11 product. Now tell me the difference. 8 hours or 9 hour, 1 unit extra hour I have added. What is the difference? Only 1. so his marginal productivity is only 1. So anything which you, sorry, when you add one extra unit of input and whatever extra has been added because of that input, मैंने जो input लगाया उसकी वजह से जो मुझे एक marginal increase मिला उस मेरे करंट आउटपुट में, उसे हम मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी कहते हैं। यहां पे इस एम्प्लॉय की मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी क्या हो गई 1, उसका मार्जिन क्या हो गया कि मैं उसको अगर 1 घंटा भी एक्स्ट्रा काम कराऊंगा या कराऊंगी तो वो मुझे एक ही एक्स्ट्रा प्रोडक्ट देगा, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि वो मुझे 12 या 15। अगर वो 12 देता तो उसकी मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी 2 होती। तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि मेरे पास अगर 2 एम्प्लॉयज आ गए, ऑन एन एवरेज एक एम्प्लॉय 8 घंटे काम करके 10 देता है, 9 घंटे काम करके 12 या 11 ही देता है। तो अगर मैंने 2 एम्प्लॉय किए, 2 लोग मिलके मुझे 8 घंटे में 20 देंगे और 9 घंटे में वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा 22 देंगे। तो एक इंसान की मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी, व्हाट इज द मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी हियर 1, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी। Clear? So if I have to define the marginal productivity is when I add an extra input, the change in the output is called as the marginal productivity. So पहला जो ऑप्शन है disguised unemployment is present in Indian agriculture sector in India. Yes, this assertion is correct. Now how would you know कि assertion right है कि wrong है? ये सबसे पहली और सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट बात, लेबर लॉज में, लेबर लेजिस्लेशन में जो भी असर्शन और रीजन के क्वेश्चन आएंगे वो आपके कंटेंट में से आएंगे, वो आपके कॉन्टेक्स्ट, आपके बुक में से ही आएंगे, आपके सिलेबस से रिलेटेड ही होगा। तो आपने अगर अपना कॉन्टेक्स्ट, अपना कंटेंट, अपना कंसेप्ट अच्छे से समझा है, यू वुड बी एबल टू आंसर। तो ये वाला तो करेक्ट हो गया, डिस्गाइज्ड अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट इंडिया में है। दूसरा है नॉर्मली मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी इन एग्रीकल्चर इज हाई। नो, मैंने यहां पे ये एग्जांपल दिया था, जैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पे दिस एम्प्लॉयज आर एडेड, मैं इनको निकाल भी दूंगी, इन्होंने कोई एक्स्ट्रा आउटपुट नहीं ऐड कर रहे, दे आर नॉट एडिंग एनीथिंग, सो हेंस देयर इवन इन द एग्रीकल्चर देयर मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी इज 0, actually 0, right? So this is not correct. The answer for this is A is correct but R is not correct. ठीक है अलमास? पता ऐसे ही चलेगा आपको कंसेप्ट, ठीक है। इन केस यू डोंट नो, वो ऐसे सेंटेंसेस हैं जो आपने कभी पढ़े ही नहीं, आपने वो सेंटेंसेस कभी पढ़े ही नहीं, कॉन्टेक्स्ट भी नहीं पता, कंटेंट भी नहीं पता। ऐसे केस में हाउ वुड यू आंसर असर्शन एंड रीजन क्वेश्चन? सो देयर इज माय ट्रिक which has almost worked every time. What you have to do after your reason, normally हम assertion reason के question कैसे solve करते हैं? Let me give you the way. What usually the trick people uses it, because लगाते हैं, disguised unemployment is present in Indian agriculture sector in India because normally marginal productivity agriculture in is high. So जो यहाँ पे because लगाएंगे उनके लिए तो ये गलत हो जाएगा। पहली चीज तो दोनों सेंटेंसेस करेक्ट है या नहीं है, हम सबसे पहले ये फाइंड आउट करेंगे, ठीक है। हियर द केस सेकंड सेंटेंस इज नॉट करेक्ट, तो हम तीसरे पे जा ही नहीं रहे, वी आर नॉट फाइंडिंग आउट द रिलेशन। इन केस यहाँ पे इफ इट वाज 0, नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड, बोथ दी सेंटेंसेस आर करेक्ट। हाउ डू आई नो बोथ दी सेंटेंसेस आर करेक्ट? देयर इज द रीजन, आई हैव स्टडीड इट। बट इन केस आई डोंट नो, मैंने वो सेंटेंसेस कभी पढ़े ही नहीं, ऐसे केस में सपोज किसी ने ये चीज पढ़ा ही नहीं, कभी नहीं पढ़ा, क्या करना है, रीजन के आगे लिखाना है दैट्स व्हाई, रीजन के आगे लगाना है दैट्स व्हाई नॉर्मली मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर इज 0, दैट्स व्हाई disguised unemployment is present in Indian agriculture sector in India. So if you are able to get this that's why relation with the assertion, अगर आपको ये मिलता है उस केस में, ये उस केस के लिए है। लेबर लॉ में इट इज वेरी इजी, लेबर कोड 55 में इट्स वेरी इजी टू सॉल्व असर्शन एंड रीजन। इन पेपर 1 या फिर कोई और क्वेश्चन पेपर है जहां पे आपने पढ़ा ही नहीं है, उस केस में आप दैट्स वाई लगा के देखो। पढ़ा भी है तभी भी आप दैट्स वाई लगाओगे, तभी भी वो आपका पूरा एक पैराग्राफ सेंटेंस कंप्लीट होता है। वी विल हैव दिस सेशन ऑन असर्शन एंड रीजन, जहां पे मैं आपको दैट्स वाई से सॉल्व करवाना सिखाऊंगी, बिकॉज एवरी टाइम ये वाला बिकॉज वर्क नहीं करता है। इट इज लाइक 80 में से 60 टाइम्स या 70 टाइम्स आपका वर्क कर जाएगा, बिकॉज लेकिन एवरी टाइम इट डजंट वर्क. So there is always context and concept that need to be clear, right? Fine. So आपने हाई को कैंसिल करके जीरो की, आई हैव गिवन द एग्जाम्पल. सो अलमास फॉर यू, मैंने यहां जीरो इसलिए लिखा, ये सेंटेंस रॉन्ग है. सो हियर assertion is correct but productivity this is wrong. एक्चुअली रियल में क्या होता है, जीरो होता है. इट इज जीरो इन नॉर्मली मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर. एग्रीकल्चर में जो एक एम्प्लॉय होता है, एक्स्ट्रा जो एम्प्लॉय वर्क करते हैं यहाँ पे, इनकी मार्जिनल प्रोडक्टिविटी जीरो होती है. मैंने बताया क्यों क्यों होती है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो एक्स्ट्रा पर्सन काम कर रहा है इसकी कोई जरूरत नहीं है. ये दो लोग भी उस लैंड पे काम करके काम खत्म कर सकते हैं. ये लोग तो ऐसे ही काम कर रहे हैं, ये लोग चले भी गए तभी भी आउटपुट वही आएगा. ठीक है. जट फ्रॉम पंजाब, गुड इवनिंग, वेलकम टू द क्लास. यस, भावना इज, थैंक यू भावना फॉर योर फीडबैक. चलो, एनीथिंग एल्स? करेक्ट होता, यस, जीरो होता तो ये दोनों सेंटेंस करेक्ट होते और आपका आंसर ये होता. A and R are correct and R is the correct explanation. ठीक है. We'll do the session or assertion and reason. Soon we will be doing it. कि आप ये कैसे solve करोगे. Done? Fine. So, okay, we'll continue this question in our next class. I hope I was able to clear the questions in detail. I have explained you the questions and answer in very detail. We will continue this session. We'll explain you other questions also in detail. If you have any feedback, you can tell me. हाँ, जट हाँ है. आप मेरा नाम सर्च करो, लक्ष्मी कुशवाहा, आपको मिल जाएगा. ठीक है. ओके, मिल ही जाएगा आपको. फाइन. चलो, एनी क्वेरीज, एनी क्वेश्चन, यू कैन आस्क मी. कॉन्कर लर्निंग है, आप उस पर फॉलो कर सकते हो. कॉन्कर लर्निंग नाम से है, आप उसको फॉलो कर सकते हो. ठीक है. फाइन. एनी अदर क्वेरी, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, कुछ पूछना है? ओके. चलो. हाँ, मुझे उसके लिए कोई भी काम दे दो, आप उस काम के लिए जो भी देना. हाँ, ठीक है. चलो, thank you so much for being there. Give your feedback. If you like this session, bill on the bell icon so that you can get the notification every time. Subscribe to the channel, share with others as well. Subscribe to my plus classes if you have not subscribed by using the code Lakshmi K Live. I have already started the plus course from unit number 1 to 10, and the record for the course is that every time around 80 to 85% course questions are asked from the syllabus, and rather 80 to 85 और एकदम सेम टू सेम क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं. इस बार मैंने अभी तक एनालिसिस नहीं किया है कि कितने क्वेश्चंस आए थे, बट देयर वेर अराउंड मोर देन 25 23 अराउंड 30 क्वेश्चन जो डिक्टो आए हुए हैं. ठीक है. सो थैंक यू सो मच. गिव योर फीडबैक एंड वी विल बी मीटिंग इन आवर नेक्स्ट सेशन. थैंक यू.